All right. So it's the ask me anything kind of thing from September 7th. We'll do this occasionally. Yeah, you just do want to watch me crash and burn, but back then I still have the same opinion today. Seems like, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, that sort of region, and questionable impacts for eastern New England. Maine's got to watch, of course, it sticks further out, but I haven't seen anything to change my opinions for over a week, and I'm to the point where why even bother? Just track it at this point, unless something really shifts, but it doesn't seem like it. Let's see, anything? Yes, anything. Well, then, I've been had. I don't remember, but probably eating. Yeah, I think about that sometimes. I didn't want to do it, but I was pressured into doing it, and I had to do it based on what I was up to and who I was around. I had complications, and some of them weren't too pleasant. And I look back on it, and if I was solo, I wouldn't have done any of it. But I wasn't solo, involved with too many vulnerable people, so I had to do it. But yeah, I would have rather not to. And I don't even know what else to say about that, is what it is. Oh, Bart. Oh, yeah, that's totally uncharacteristic of you to pressure in an opinion or an idea or question. Well, it was earlier in the year. This midsummer, she was an awesome girl. She was a lot of fun. She came out of nowhere and then she disappeared. I probably chased her away with my crazy, but hey, it was a lot of fun. Blooming flowers, you got to do the right soil, got to do the right sunlight, and the right fertilizer. Depends on the plant. You just got to do research. Some things, they might sell them to you, but they don't do well in your region, so they'll always struggle. Yeah, I mean, I came back because I was bored and I missed talking weather with a bunch of people. And sure, the changing patterns are definitely interesting. We saw them coming back before I left. I used to talk to a few people of what was on the way, and it seems to have come to pass. So, yeah, it's kind of fun to get in there and see what's going on and why a little bit. But I'm more about just the everyday weather, as you know. Yeah, I mean, I've met with Anthony, I've talked to him. He does speak about coming back, but now he's disappeared, so I gotta needle him some more. Burger and a beer. What else is best at a bar? But, that restaurant I go to frequently, it's good food all around. You can't really hit or miss, it's just all good. Yeah, I mean, screwed, I don't know. We have to wait and see. If it's a little to the right, it could be very windy, but just cloudy. A little to the left, could be heavy rain and higher winds. Yeah, it's a tough one, Jay. I don't know what to tell you. Horrible timing. There's going to be something. Yeah, I'm cranky. What else is in here now? Thank you for coming back. You are welcome. See, that's crazy. I've been here for months, and just now some people are still finding me. I don't really advertise it, though, because I don't know. I'm not about that. Am I different? Yeah, I had quite an epiphany in early March. Something definitely changed all upstairs in the old noggin, and I've kind of alluded to it. It's quite the interesting little bit of a story, to be honest with you. And since then, I've just kind of ridden that wave and not thought about it much. We gotta go back now to this mess. Where are we? Work. Damn you, work. Back. Let's see. The other thing about Cranky Weather Guy, yeah, somebody stole my old name and copied me, and you all fell for it, and that's awful. I deleted the account because I didn't want someone to hack into it and then use it against you that way. But what can you do? Warmer global upper atmosphere. So here's the thing. Actually, a lot of climatologists have suggested that the upper atmosphere may actually cool and create more of a differential in your temperatures from surface to aloft, thus enhancing storm development. It's all about thermal changes, not anomalies, differential. Winter in Mount Holly. I think winter will be interesting. I really do. I think everyone's kind of blowing out of proportion the idea it might just be warm and wet. I mean, it could be. But there's some things. I like the elongated occlusions we had earlier in the summer, and I think that pattern revisits. I think it would be fairly far north if it did, like Mason-Dixon line, and not, further south, which is typical for those type of occluded lows. I don't think we'll have deep Arctic air to tap, but you only need a few degrees below freezing to get snow. But that just means your trajectory and your storm tracks have to be just right. Otherwise, they pull in, you get a little front end snow, and then in comes the warmth. It's a crapshoot. It's always a crapshoot, but there are some interesting things to track. I don't think it's going to be some big bust. Pancakes or waffles? I don't like either, man. I had a horrible flu eating pancakes when I was like 7 or 8, and they all came right back up. Never want to touch them again. Can't even stand the smell. Safe weathercasting? Is there any such thing on this godforsaken platform? Well, I've been following the weather since I was about 4 years old, but on a technical side, literally 8 or 9 years old, I was already understanding it and predicting it and doing pretty well. By my teens, I was quite good. Same, I already answered the winter. I think down there is very difficult. I just think it's difficult. We'll see. I liked Gordon way back when, early 90s or late 80s. I kind of forget that bit. Remember, he came out of the Caribbean, they thought he'd shoot straight into the Gulf. Instead, he took a hard right. Then they thought he'd go totally east into the Atlantic. Then he took a hard north. Then he did the big loop off the Carolinas and came all the way back around. The thing with that storm was every time they thought it was going where it was going to keep going, woke up the next day or came in the next evening, it had taken a left or right turn that nobody saw. Maybe with today's tools we would see that, but yeah, that was a fun cyclone to watch unfold. Other than that, I guess Hurricane Glorious, since it impacted me directly on coastal Jersey. And, the occasional winter storm, but they all kind of blend together these days. We had a good run in the 09 to 011 in New Jersey. That was fun. I'd say winter storms are my favorite to track, though. Caribbean impact, it's looking like it. There's the possibility there for sure. It's the tropics. We have many months left for down there. Forecast weather on Jupiter seems pretty straightforward. Windy. And yet, I've never liked the red spot. I enjoyed the story back in the 80s where it appeared to be dissipating. I wish it'd go away just for the fun of it. College for meteorology? No. I did a few courses early on. Discovered school's not for me. Felt like an extension of high school. College is a joke. It should be specialized training. Should not be an extension of high school. I wasn't getting anything out of it, so I left, went to work. Gained my wisdom just by observing and just watching. Who's Walter D? I am not. Cranky to content? I don't know. Something popped in the old noggin. Talk about it someday. Catastrophic damage? No, it won't be that strong. It can't maintain that intensity. But, Category 1 coming in on a curve into eastern New England is strong enough. Trees down, power outages, and the local coastal flooding. Not fun, but not the end of the world. However, it would be piling onto a heck of a lot of rainfall, so flooding would be severe. I mean, if you were looking for a catastrophic aspect of this system, if it did decide to turn into eastern New England, well, then yeah, a lot of heavy flooding rain, a lot of damage with the rain. ENSO has flipped so many times between Nino and Nina, and from pretty extreme versions thereof. At that point, you can't really trust ENSO analogs because the atmosphere it takes a while to respond to each one of those states before you see what those analogs tell you should be seeing. And I don't know if it's had any time to do that. I would expect a more chaotic version of things, honestly, rather than just a straightforward, this is a Nino or a Nina. There will be moments where it mirrors both, but those are fleeting moments. You kind of try to forcibly craft that just so you can say it. Vanilla. Recently, vanilla chocolate chip. Simpsons, well, you know what? Ever since they gave them shadows and made them pretty, what was that, a decade ago or even longer, I stopped watching them. So I don't even remember. I'm sure if I watched some, I could pick one out for you. Hurricane Lee and the east coast of Mass. Well, it's the same thing where it's been. Mostly the thought has always been grazing impacts, and I still feel like grazing impacts. But grazing impacts could be 50, 60 mile an hour winds and heavy rain. We don't quite know yet. I'd say Wednesday is the best, but since September 7th to the 12th, even earlier than the 7th, it seems like the same thoughts keep appearing onto where it will generally go and why, and that still hasn't shifted. A little perplexing to me, actually. Ham's alright. It can get a little overbearing, a little fatty, a little salty. Meteorology, well, as I told to Tim Kelly, lightning bolt when I was 4 years old really woke me up and been forever hooked. Officially employed? Nope. Never trained, never will be. Avid enthusiast, but it's a little deeper than that. I'd probably pay more attention to the weather than forecasters do. Became a play on words, and I didn't even realize I scored that. Content as in peaceful. No longer cranky. But content full of information, yeah, it seems to fit the bill, doesn't it? Weather doing his thing. We'll have to do a Twitter thing one day and just kind of take a peek at all this, see what's going on. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Catch you later.